I'm thrilled to be in Goa for a short break. Now, for most people, what comes to mind when you think of Goa is beaches and parties. But for me, Goa is home, so I'm always thrilled to come back here. And I can assure you there's much more to Goa than the popular beaches in the north and the bustling nightlife. In my mind, some of the most charming elements that Goa has to offer are the Portuguese colonial architecture, the beautiful natural landscape and ecology, and the quieter beaches in South Goa. So I'm looking forward to taking you through all my favorite places in Goa, even if they're not on the typical tourist map. I'm going to be driving around Goa in the Hyundai Xcent, a car that's been my travel companion on plenty of trips lately, and I have to say that the more I drive it, the more I realize it's really the ideal car, both for driving around town on an everyday basis as well as for a long weekend trip. Because she has adequate power and lots of space, she also has really cool features which make driving her really enjoyable. So it's time for me to set off and explore Goa in the beautiful Hyundai Xcent. The interior of the Xcent is really comfortable and it feels wonderfully luxurious because of nice touches like the chrome garnish on the door handle. Now this leather-wrapped steering wheel is great to hold, and I really like the blue lighting on the instrumentation. I think it looks really attractive. There's also cool features like a reverse parking camera on the rear view mirror, and the climate control, which is fully automatic, makes driving in the heat such a pleasure. I took a pretty early flight to get to Goa and I want to make the most of the morning. And since most things don't really open till past 10 a.m, I thought I'd start my day with some nature. And I think that Goan ferries are just such a charming way to experience the water as well as get to the beautiful islands across the Mandovi. I'm going to go to Shirao and take a walk in the foliage there. So time to get into my car and drive on to the next ferry.
Shirao is an island across the Mandovi River that's perhaps one of the most untouched parts of Goa. It's lush and green and is home to a tranquil bird sanctuary. After taking in some nature, it's time for me to see some beautiful church architecture, and Old Goa is just a short drive away.
I'm in the Old Goa Church complex, and here you can see some of the most impressive Christian art and architecture in India. Now behind me you can see the charming Sikh Cathedral, and ahead lies the Basilica of Bom Jesus, which is famous throughout the Roman Catholic world. There's also a museum and a cloister in the compound, but I'm going to start with the Basilica. The Basilica of Bom Jesus is the most popular attraction in the Old Goa Church complex, because it's here that the relics in the tomb of St. Francis Xavier lie. And it's a flurry of activity right now because the exposition is about to begin, and it'll be many years since the body has been on display to the public. So that's happening this winter, and definitely stop by if you're in Goa. Let's go take a look inside. The Xcent comes in both a petrol and diesel version, but what I'm driving today is the 1.2-litre petrol. It has a Kappa engine that's both smooth and refined, plus its compact size makes it really easy to maneuver. So I'm loving being at the wheel. I couldn't possibly come to Goa and avoid the north altogether, because it's here that you really see how popular Goa is as a tourist destination. The great thing about Goa is that you can be who you want to be, do what you want to do, and wear what you want to wear. And I really think that's what makes it such a favorite with people from all over the world, as you can see here on Baga Beach, which is perhaps one of the most popular beaches in Goa. I've gotten here right in time for sunset, and it's the best time to be at the beach.
The sun may have set, but in Goa, for many, the day has just begun. For nocturnal souls, Goa has no dearth of entertainment. Whether you enjoy night markets, alfresco dining, dancing, or watching sports, it's all on offer in abundance.
Baga is also a hotspot when it comes to shopping, partying, and eating out. Now there's options here to suit every budget, but my favorite part of walking up and down this lane in Baga is the people watching, because the most eclectic people come to Goa, and it can be lots of fun to just take in your surroundings. Now I have a really early morning tomorrow because I have the fort to see, and I want to stop by my favorite beach before I head back to Bombay. So I'm going to call it a night, but definitely when you're in Goa, there's no dearth of things to do if you're a party animal.
After a good night's sleep, I'm so looking forward to visiting the Rieshmagosh Fort and my absolute favorite beach in the south before I head to the airport.
The Rieshmagosh Fort is another of my favorite spots in Goa because it affords the most magnificent views of the ocean. Now, it was only recently restored, and in fact the famous Goan artist, the late Mario Miranda, was heavily involved in raising funds to preserve the fort. So as you can see, it's extremely well maintained, and I'm so impressed with this. You know, it's just great that these monuments are becoming preserved and celebrated and kind of becoming symbols of public life here.
The Rieshmagosh Fort is the oldest fort in Goa, having served the state since 1493. It was initially a defence fort and then a jail until it was abandoned. While old cannons still adorn the ramparts, some of the inner halls have been turned into gallery spaces, displaying prints of Mario Miranda's famous illustrations inspired by Goa.
After a lovely little visit to the fort, I'm all set to head to Uttarda Beach, which is my favorite South Goan beach, en route to the airport for some lunch. Uttarda Beach is one of my favorite beaches because it's so beautiful and quiet. The sand is powdery white and the water is blue and clear. And in my opinion, it's also one of the safest waters to swim in because it's always calm. Now also, you can get the best seafood at the shack here, so I'm looking forward to a delicious lunch. All of this looks so yummy. I can't wait to take my first bite. Divine. Well, I absolutely adore Goa, and I've had such a good time driving around in the beautiful Hyundai Xcent. But unfortunately, it's already time for me to leave, and while I wish I could stay longer, but I hope I've inspired you to try out some of the lesser known destinations in Goa along with the popular ones, and I do hope you'll join me again next week for another exciting trip.